Well, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you may be. Today, I want to take a look at sports performance anxiety and look at it in a different perspective. What if sports performance anxiety could actually be your best friend? Exactly. Doesn't make sense, does it? Well, hold on. What I want you to do, sit down, take out a piece of paper and a pen, and I want you to listen because there's going to be some questions that I'm going to ask you to write down and some things I really want you to seriously think about. So why don't we take a look at what exactly is anxiety? There are so many thoughts, so many ideas out there. And what I would like to do is keep it really simple. So my thought on anxiety is this, and what I'll share with you, that it is a practiced, habitual, or habit of predicting a negative outcome, something that's negative that's going to happen in the future. In other words, it's a practice habit of predicting a negative future outcome. It could be making a mistake in a game, a bad pass, a bad shot. It could be falling off a balance beam. Something that you are predicting that's going to happen when you go to practice, an event, or a competition. What's happening in your mind is you are predicting what is going to happen. And if you continue to predict this over and over and over again, then you are teaching the brain this is exactly what the brain wants you to do. In other words, it's going to create the habits and you will take the actions to get you to have a less than positive result in the future. Now, the good thing about this is because this is a habit and it is something that is practice, it can be changed. So the question you may want to ask yourself, if you've got these thoughts always in your mind, what is it that you want to have happen instead? I will say that again. What is it that you want to have happen instead? And I'll say it one more time. What is it that you want to have happen instead? And if it's something different, great, because your next question is, do you actually want a different result? Because if you do not, then the rest of what I am going to say right now is just, it's not going to help you. So the key, again, question is to move from a panic state or a less than positive state, move into an area of where you're working towards a solution. Is the question, again, is what would you like to have happen instead? And if there's a different result that you want, here are a series of questions you can ask. 1, do I need to up my game? Is there an area of my game that needs tweaking? Do I need to react faster? Do I need to be quicker into the corners? Do I need to jump just a little bit higher? Do I need to hold that landing just a little bit longer? Do I need to spend an extra few minutes in the weight room? Do I need to work on my speed? Do I need to work on my strength? Within a team situation, are there responsibilities that I need to be better at doing? Do I need to have that conversation with my coach? What does my coach expect? Do I actually have it within me to be able to move forward? That's a really big question. Do I have the support that I need to be able to up my game? Do I need to change the environment that I am in? So these are a lot of different questions that you can ask yourself, something you can write down. You can pause it here, go back and ask those questions again. Once you have the answers to the questions, the next step is to take action. So you can start by visualizing. You can visualize the end goal that you want to have. So maybe it's going into the corner, retrieving the puck. Maybe it's landing on the balance beam with your arms out perfectly. Your legs maybe straight. Maybe it's getting that basket from a 3 throw. So whatever it is, you can have that end goal vision. The other thing that is really, really powerful to do is focus on the steps, the process. I need to do this, then I need to do this. And you know, in your own sport, and focus on that over and over and over again. And the other thing that I think is really, really important is that because you are looking for something different, it is really important to understand that what happens if you don't get that result? What if it's a different result? Not the result that you intended to have initially, the lesson positive, but what if something doesn't go according to plan? How are you going to react to that? So it's really, really important. As much as you want to have a positive or successful result, when you're thinking about the future, sometimes things will happen. And that's because you're going against other people, because of how you're feeling that day. Whatever, it doesn't matter. What's really important to understand is your focus is to have a result that is different from what you've been having. So sometimes something that is neutral, so instead of saying less than positive things, because we know they carry a lot of weight, you don't say anything at all. Or you may say something that is more positive. And it's important to picture in your mind and understand that, yes, let's say for hockey, you're going in for the corner and before you got slammed into the boards. Maybe what happens this time, you get the puck, you release it, and it's quicker and you get hit, but because you've done your mental preparation, because you've been focusing on the process, because maybe you've been doing more weights, because you've been working on your speed, there's less contact. So you got a result that was better than what you had before. It is so, so important to focus on the outcome that you want, to take the steps to get that. And in combination with support, and sometimes you'll have to do it without support, that's just the way it goes, you will get a different result. So this thing called anxiety or sports performance anxiety, instead of being the enemy, everything that you've gone through, the information of what happened in the past, we use that as data. We use that as feedback. And there is no such thing as failure, only feedback. So you take the information and you make the improvements. And sometimes it's just a small tweaking. Like I had asked before, is there something small that you need to tweak? Maybe you need to change the mindset of something negative to something that's neutral. And then once you're comfortable with the neutral, you get into that positive frame of mind. Because sometimes for some people, if negativity has followed them around for a long time, something neutral may be at that time the best solution. I'm Michael Wolf Grafstein, affectionately known as Matrix Mike. Please feel free to comment down below, and please feel free ask any questions. Wishing you the best in your sports performance.